So before going into the main thing, that how to draw graphs of various functions, today we will study first of all about some basic trigonometric ratios and about coordinate axes and all. I will give you some basic info which some of you might already know, and if you don't know, then you can definitely learn from it. Okay. So today we will start with trigonometric ratios. Okay. Suppose this is the right angle triangle. Right angle triangle means this angle is 90 degree. Okay. So in a right angle triangle we have three sides. In a triangle we have three sides basically. So this side we call it base. This side is perpendicular and this side is hypotenuse. Okay. And this angle is theta. So for this angle theta we have some basic trigonometric ratios. The first one is sin theta. In any right angle triangle, sin theta is equal to perpendicular by hypotenuse. Okay. Sin theta is equal to perpendicular by hypotenuse. Cos theta is equal to base by hypotenuse. And tan theta is equal to perpendicular by base. Tan theta is also equal to sin theta by cos theta. That means sin theta is p by h and cos theta is b by h. So it would simply give you b by b only. Now cosec theta. Cosec theta is the inverse of sin theta. Or it will be simply hypotenuse by perpendicular. Sec theta is the inverse of cos theta. It will be hypotenuse by base. And cot theta is the inverse of tan theta. So it will be simply base by perpendicular. Okay. So these are the basic trigonometric ratios which you need to understand. Okay. Now there are some of the standard values of sin theta, cos theta, like for theta equal to 30 degree, theta equal to 45 degree, theta equal to 60 degree, which you might have already studied. And if you haven't studied, then you can refer in any books. You will find the standard values for it. Okay. Now we will move on to coordinate axes. What are the coordinate axes? I know most of you might have studied about it, but still we will have a look that what is negative x-axis, negative y-axis, and how to plot points there. Okay. Okay. We are going to study about only two-dimensional plane. Okay, we won't have to study about three-dimension now. So in two-dimensional plane, you have coordinate axes as following. This is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. You call this part as positive x-axis. These are negative x-axis, and it is represented by x dash. Here origin is represented as O. Okay. So below the origin it is y dash and you have negative y-axis, and above the origin it is y and you have positive y-axis. Okay. So here the coordinates will be of the form 1, 2, 3 and so on up to infinity. Here the coordinates will be of the form -1, -2, so on. Here the coordinates will be 1, 2, 3, so on, and here -1, -2, -3. Okay. So this is the basic coordinate axis which you need to know. Okay. And if you see more about the coordinate axis, this region it is called first quadrant. Okay, this region, it is called second quadrant. This region, this is called third quadrant, and this region is called fourth quadrant. Okay, in first quadrant both x and y are positive. In second quadrant y is positive, x is negative. In third quadrant both x and y are negative, and in fourth quadrant x is positive, y is negative. Okay, so what is the significance of quadrant? The basic significance of quadrant when related to trigonometry is about the angles. Okay, in the first quadrant angle lies between 0 to 90 degree. Okay, in the second quadrant angle lies between 90 degree to 180 degree. In the third quadrant angle lies between 180 degree to 270 degree. In the fourth quadrant angle lies between 270 degree to 360 degree. Okay, so these are the features of the quadrant. You have different range of angles for different quadrant. Okay. Now, if I again come back to trigonometric ratios, what we find is that suppose you take value of sine 45 degree. It is 1 by root 2. Okay. You suppose you consider sine 90 degree. It is 1. You take sine 135 degree. It is 1 by root 2. But suppose you take cos 135 degree. It will become minus 1 by root 2. And here cos 45 degree is 1 by root 2. Okay. So what you find for the same angle, sine is negative. So sine is positive and cos is negative. How does it happen? Okay, I mean for the same angle, sine can be positive and cos and tan can be negative, or cos can be positive and sine and tan can be negative. Okay, so actually you need to find a way how to know whether the given sine function of the angle will be positive or negative, or any trigonometric ratio will be negative or positive. Okay, so we will see a simple what you call a funda. We would try to grasp that funda and apply it everywhere, so that we could easily figure out whether the sign is positive or negative. So that funda is simply add sugar to coffee. Okay, don't go by the name. You have to just consider the first letter. What is the first letter of each word? Okay, so from here A stands for all positive. Here S stands for sign positive. Here T stands for, T is the first letter, it stands for tan positive. And C stands for cos positive. Okay, so basically the letter A or the word and represents first quadrant, sugar represents second, 2 represents third quadrant, and coffee represents fourth quadrant. So what you basically find in first quadrant, all will be positive. All means sine, tan, cos will be positive. Okay, if sine is positive, then cosec theta is automatically positive, na? Because cosec theta is reciprocal of sine theta. Okay, so similarly, if cos is positive, sec will be also positive because sec is reciprocal of cos theta. And same thing for tan and cot. Okay, so basically, what we find in the first quadrant, all is positive. That means we could write it as For theta line between 0 to 90 degree, sin, tan and cos are positive from here. Okay? Because 0 to 90 degree is the range of first quadrant. Okay? Okay? Next we move on to the range of 90 to 180 degree. Here we find that 90 to 180 degree is the range of second quadrant, and in second quadrant sin theta is positive. Okay, so sin theta will be positive, tan and cos will be negative. Okay, that simply means if you take sin 135 degree, it will be positive, and cos 135 degree and tan 135 degree will be negative. Okay. Next we move on to theta line between 180 degree to 270 degree. Okay. Here tan was positive. Here tan is positive and sin and cos are negative, because in the third quadrant we have seen tan will be positive. So tan will be positive. Okay. And sin and cos will be negative. Okay. Similarly, for theta line between 270 to 360 degree, cos will be positive and rest all will be negative. Okay, I am not mentioning here cosec, sec and cot theta, because the sign of cosec will be same as of sin, the sign of sec will be same as of cos, and the sign of cot will be same as that of tan. Okay, so these are the basic trigonometric ratios. I mean, you just need to remember these basics for plotting the graph. In the next class, we will move on to how to draw graphs of linear functions. Okay.
For more videos, click the subscribe button below.